We are recording.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our program today. I'm Gina, and I'm the coordinator of the Veterans Resource Center at Skyline College. And for those of you who may not know, Skyline College is part of the San Mateo County Community College District in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is made up of 3 colleges: Skyline, College of San Mateo, and Kenyatta College. Each college has a veteran center and a coordinator like myself, and all 3 of us work together to help connect students, faculty, and staff with resources, services for veterans and military connected individuals.
And my name is Kathleen Mink. I'm a social worker for the San Francisco VA Student Veteran Health Program. Our Student Veteran Health Program helps veterans enroll in VA healthcare, as well as navigating the system and referrals and assistance to other VA programs and services and community services and programs. We have various team members throughout Northern California at various schools. And I'm really proud to be the Student Veteran Health Program team member assigned to Skyline College.
And we've been fortunate to build strong partnerships with CalVet's California Transition Assistance Program team members who have supported our district both in person and now virtually. And I have to say the partnership is even stronger now than ever. We are excited that you have the opportunity to hear about the wonderful resources and opportunities available through CalVet today. There will be resources highlighted local to the San Francisco Bay Area, as well as statewide resources. So we hope there will be something for everyone today.
I also wanted to mention that before we turn it over to the CalVet team, for any veterans who might be interested in exploring the COVID vaccine, we are going to have a slide toward the end of the presentation that is a VA locator. So if you're not already connected to the VA, you're certainly welcome to reach out to me and I can assist you. Or you can look at the locations website, which is will be listed, and you can find the VA closest to you. And with that, I'm happy to turn it over to the CalVet team.
Thank you so much, Kathleen and Gina, for that introduction. So I am Ashley Daga, and I am a training coordinator here with the CalVet, with the CalTAP team with CalVet. And I'm very excited here today to present to you some great information in addition to our other presenters we have here for you. So first things first, I kind of want to go over some housekeeping information. We do ask that you try and keep yourself on mute in addition to keeping your cameras off during the presentation, and this will just help with any minimizing any distractions to our presenters and the participants who are listening in. You should have received an email or a few emails with some great information in there. First thing you probably would have received was a link with the PDF version of our Veterans Resource Book. This has a lot of great information. It's not, a book like mine. However, the PDF version is just as great. Tons of great information in there. In addition, it has our contact information on the very last page there. In addition to that, you should have also received a copy of our link map, and I will also show this information to you here in just a little bit so that you have a better idea of the links and what they do and everything like that. And then you should also be able to find that information in the chat. So if you'd like to download it through there, you can as well. So we have a very packed agenda today in the next hour. We have some great presenters who will be coming on. We have someone from the Women's Veterans Division, in addition to the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division, who will come on and give you some great information as far as what they do as their role in that division. And then I will finish this off with some information in regards to the CalTAP overview and your benefits. And then in the last half hour, about 4 o'clock, we will do a virtual Q&A. So throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, I do highly recommend that you send it to the CalTAP questions. Jennifer will be on surveying those questions, either sending them directly to the subject matter expert or possibly answering them on the spot as well. Again, this is how you would utilize chat. You can hover over the top or bottom of your screen and click on chat, and again, send it to the CalTAP questions. All right, here's just a kind of a brief breakdown of those who are here to help you. First, we start off, of course, with the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, and then which is at the federal level, and then at the state is the CalVet, which is us here. And then the county level is the County Veteran Service Officer. And then in addition, we have some other service providers that are listed below that you can utilize if you have any questions or anything of that nature. And then this is a breakdown of the Veterans Affairs Department. So there's three departments there, or divisions, which is the Veterans Health Administration, which they help with health benefits, hospital, clinical, pharmacy, and then you have your Veterans Benefits Administration, your VBA. And then you can see the listings that what they're there to assist you with, from compensation, home loans, veteran readiness and employment. And then finally, the third branch is the National Cemetery Administration, which they help with burial benefits, headstones, markers, and medallions. And then finally, at the state level, which I will be going over all these different programs here later on very briefly. We have the CalTAP, college fee waiver, home loans, veterans homes, all those things I'll kind of touch a little bit on as I go on with my presentation. And this is my contact information. So at the end, if you have any questions, you can either email me, you can go to our website, give us a call. We do have representatives available to answer the phone and answer questions right on the spot. And then if you would like us, you can like us on social media, Facebook. You can just use the QR code there. It'll take you directly to our page, and you can check out some of the upcoming webinars and things that we have going on. All right, and before we get into the Women's Veterans Division, I would like to I have a treat for you all. Xochitl Rodriguez Murillo will come on and give you information in regards to her role in the divisions, but she is a Deputy Secretary over the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division and is the Acting Deputy Secretary for the Women's Veterans Division.
Thank you very much, Ashley, Jen, Kathleen, and Gina. It's a pleasure to join you, to all San Mateo County Skyline College and friends. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Xochitl Rodriguez Murillo, Deputy Secretary for Minority and Underrepresented Veterans and Acting for Women Veterans. As our CalVet program analyst for both divisions, will give an overview of our mission and outreach services we provide. I want to welcome you to reach out to us with questions on the benefits and services. If you are transitioning out of the military or need help for a friend or family member yourself, we are here to assist. I know these are difficult times during COVID, but we have our staff ready to assist, whether it's by phone or email. And any answers that we don't have, we will help guide you in the right direction. Our goal is to connect you as our veterans to the benefits you're entitled to, and we also want to hear from you. So as you're listening to the programs and the services that we provide, if you have any ideas on areas or programs that you would like to see through the Women Veterans Division or Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division, or just CalVet in general, please let us know. I'm very happy to be here. Outside of this capacity, I'm an Army reservist and a veteran. So it's even more exciting to be able to serve our California veterans. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Xochitl, for hopping on and giving us that information. And so now I'd like to introduce you to Jolene Caricas, and sorry if I mispronounced that, Jolene, but she will provide you with information in regards to the Women Veterans Division.
Yes, thanks, Ashley, and thanks, Skyline College, Gina, and Kathleen. I really appreciate it. That was our Deputy Secretary, Xochitl Rodriguez Murillo. She is acting in our division right now since the beginning of this year. So we've been going through a little bit of transitions as well. So as mentioned, my name is Jolene Caricas, and I work in the CalVet Women Veterans Division. A little bit about myself. You can go to the next slide, Ashley. I am also a veteran from the U.S. Air Force, and I kind of like that these interactions on Zoom where people can't talk about their their service, because I can say, without anybody saying anything else, that the Air Force is the best service out there. Just want to put that out there. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit. I'm going to give an overview of some stats, some data of women veterans, and then some of the unique challenges that we face in total and also on campuses. And then I'll talk a lot about a little bit more detail of our actual division, how we service women veterans, how we connect them to services and resources. Next page, please. So just a little bit about this particular slide. What you just need to get out of here is we are the second largest population of women veterans in California after Texas. We are 10% of all veterans in California, and we double that when we look at our National Guard and reservists. And nationwide, we pretty much are on par with the nation. Next slide, please. And we're finding that in post-secondary education, we're finding a lot that women are more likely to complete degree programs and are generally at higher degree programs. They're usually bachelor's degree, master's, doctorates. And we also find that women veterans, they utilize their GI Bill at a 10% rate. And that seems a little low compared to men veterans, but women have actually been using at a higher rate. They've increased, whereas men have virtually remained about the same or have even declined in using their GI Bill benefits. So that's been kind of interesting to see. Next slide, please. When compared to men and women, as far as demographics go, we find that women are getting out younger. They are generally around 48 years old compared to men who are generally in the retirement ages, around 62. We also find that women are also more generally ethnically diverse. We see just in the African-American population for women, they're about 30% of the population, which is interesting and very cool to see. We also find that women are more likely to be employed and already in the workforce when they're getting out. Next slide, please. When it comes to their health, women generally have better access to than their civilian peers, probably because when they get out, they're coming in at the peak of their professional age and careers. So they already have access to the veteran community as far as the VHA, VBA, the Veterans Health Administration, and the Veterans Benefits Administration. There's a lot more continuity because they're coming from the military, and some of them have already transitioned into the VA while they're still in the military. Again, we have just come out of the military, so we have less obesity, higher physical activity. And so it's always good to see that women are pretty stable coming out of the military. Next slide. When it comes to their physical health in terms of getting their VA disability, we find that the number one thing to see is that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is a huge issue. As the number one service connection. In terms of physical, we see higher chronic diseases. As you can see on here, arthritis is a huge one. Another a large thing to look at too is women, for some reason, have they're more likely to have lung diseases as they're coming out as well. And next slide, please. So going back to the mental health, when we saw that PTSD was the number one service connection, we find that women generally don't tend to gravitate towards getting into counseling services. And as a result, we find that the rate of suicide among women vets is 2.2% times higher than non-veteran women. And we see that a lot of the PTSD is related to military sexual trauma, MST. And I want to highlight this one phrase here, that MST has been found to be more traumatic and more debilitating than sexual assaults and rapes in the civilian context. And what that means is that it's just basically saying that because women veterans they have a kind of a closed atmosphere when we're in the military, we rely heavily on an environment where we're relying on our fellow soldier, sailor, airmen for not just our survival, but also for our social and economic well-being as well. We rely on these people as like our family members, or actually family members, because we live with them, we're sleeping next to them, we're constantly around each other. So it is a lot more traumatic to see, say, a brother or father committing assaults on them. Next slide, please. some of the unique challenges. The one I want to highlight here is the lack of recognition. We find that women veterans just don't think that they're veterans at all. And I want to share an example of myself. So my husband is also was in the military. He's currently in the reserves right now. And we both went to a veteran organization. We stepped into we both wanted to join. So we're kind of testing them out and feeling them out and finding out what they're all about. And as soon as we walked into this building filled with smoke, and there's a bar setting, it's kind of that old Vietnam feeling. A lot of these older veterans in their 60s, 70s, 80s came straight to us, very excited. And they went straight to my husband though. And they talked about how great the program is, how awesome it has been, and how much they do work for veterans. And probably about after this 20 minutes of glad hatting, they finally looked at me and they're like, hey, we also have a program for ladies. We have an auxiliary. And I just want to highlight that probably doesn't happen to a lot of men, but it happens commonly a lot to a lot of women veterans. When we walk into a space, we don't generally get seen as a veteran. And so the lack of recognition, it just gets even more emphasized that we aren't veterans when we walk into spaces like that. Next slide, please. So when we're looking at women on college campuses, it's always, it says here, never assume that a veteran is not a veteran. I also want to highlight that when you see a woman and they're in a veteran space or a military space, automatically assume that they're a veteran. It's better to err on that side. And then to also understand too, that if you're speaking to a population of women that are, again, in veteran spaces, instead of asking, are you a veteran? Ask them instead, did you serve in the military? It takes out that stigma. It's important also for college campuses to have representation of women in veteran spaces, in leaderships within the military context and within organizations for women. So we'd like to see a lot more of that. And next slide, please. I think this is, yes, we're talking about now our division. So why do we have the Women Veterans Division? I want to highlight again and bring back the fact that we have a Women Veterans Division because it's so unique, our challenges. We, again, don't recognize that we're veterans, and so we need to do specific outreach just for women. So that's where we come in. We try to provide advocacy, information, outreach, and support to women veterans and their families. That is our whole focus. We hope to connect you to your benefits and your resources. Next slide. A big part of our job, so because we don't provide direct services to women vets, we do the connection. We're basically the bridge to you and the VA and to local, federal, and state services and resources. That's our job. So we have a very close relationship with the VA. We have some really great relationships with the women veteran program managers. There are 8 in California. We have great relationships with them. We try to connect those ladies to women veterans so that they can get the services they need. Again, there are 8 and they are specifically for women veterans. There's 1 in each healthcare system. And we always want to emphasize their duties and their roles because they specifically help just women. So we try to connect you guys to them all the time. Next, thank you. Some of the other things that we do as a division in terms of advocacy is we have the Women's Military History Week. That is generally in March, the 3rd week. We generally recognize a couple of women veterans for their exceptional service in the community and in their environments. So we've shifted our celebration to putting that out in October and recognizing them. But this is an important part of what the governor has declared as the 3rd week, which is Military History Week. We always encourage women to recognize that week, to spread out that information. We also get a proclamation from the governor proclaiming this as Women's Military History Week. Next slide, please. So we've been doing statewide webinars that are specifically generated at women veterans. And we've been doing it since probably 2013, and we've ramped up since the pandemic. So we provide them probably every month now. We provide one, and we take the advice from our women vets, and we try and gear it towards things that they suggest they'd like to see. For example, because this month is sexual assault awareness month, we've tried to gear a lot of free mental health and wellness practices through virtual webinar. We have partnered with the Mindful Veteran Project, who provides those kinds of things, and the Veterans Yoga Project. So we provide some really cool free yoga classes online, and some other alternative therapies that are also online. And we invite you guys to check out our website. This can all be found on our website at www.calvet.ca.gov/womenvets. That'll just take you to our homepage. Next slide, please. I mentioned earlier the reception in conjunction with the Military Women's History Week. So we used to have it in March, but now we've pushed it out to October so that we can spread out our events for women, so that we're kind of touching bases on every season and every month. So this was last year's. Again, what this really highlights and emphasizes is we try and find women who are exceptional in their communities and have done great things in there. We always are taking suggestions of women that you'd like to nominate or highlight. You can give that information to us on our email, which I can always provide in our chat too. And this year will be our 10th annual Women Veterans Reception. We're pretty excited about it. We have a couple of things noodling on our brains of how we'd like to present it, but I just want to encourage everybody to look out for what we have coming up on it. I will say that we're looking at doing some quick little video snippets, like a Snapchat kind of platform where women can share their stories real quick. So we're very excited about that. Next slide, please. The Women Veterans Roster is basically how we keep track and connected to our women veterans in California. As you saw earlier, there's 163,000 women veterans in California. Right now, we only have contact with about 18,000, so we have a lot to go. So I encourage, if you haven't already done this, is to sign up for our roster. It just asks basic questions. What we really need from you is just your name and an email address. That's really all. Through that roster is where you'll become a part of our listserv, and you'll also get information about new things happening with women vets, some of the cool programs that are coming up, or events that are also coming up throughout California. And because of the pandemic, a lot of it's virtual, and all of it is free generally. So I encourage you to sign up if you haven't already. Next slide, please. Find us online. We are online. All of our information is there. The Women Vets Roster is just a button and a click away. Our webinars are recorded, every single one of them. They're archived, so they will be available. Resources and information is just some of the general things that we found that can connect women vets to other women veteran organizations, or just veteran organizations in general. And then the Women Vets Reception is how you can keep in contact on what we are going to be doing. Next slide, please. And I believe that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. I did want to say and include something else that I forgot to mention earlier. So I attended a Women Veterans Advisory earlier this morning, and they were talking a lot about some new and exciting GI Bill benefits that are coming up that I'd like to mention really quick, because it's very exciting. So they have this new program called the VRAP. And the VRAP is called the Veteran Rapid Retraining Assistance Program. I'll provide that link in the chat. And it was enacted just this year in March. And what it does is it was in response to the American Rescue Plan, and it aids and it targets veterans and businesses to recover from the effects of COVID-19. And those that are available are veterans that are between the ages of 22 to 67. And this is a program that will pay for all your tuition and provide a housing allowance, kind of how like the GI Bill works. But you also have to have been, unemployed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's kind of some of the exciting things that are happening in the VA as far as the student veteran world. So I encourage you guys to all check that out. And I'll again provide that link in the chat. And if you guys need to contact us, if you don't remember anything about this complete presentation, remember our phone number. This gets you directly to us. There's three of us in my division, so you'll get one of three of us. It's 916-653-1402. And then our email also goes directly to myself and my coworker. It's womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov. And that's all I have today. If you guys have any questions, I can answer them at the end.
Thank you so much, Julene, for all that great information. And again, I highly recommend if you guys didn't already, you can take a screenshot. Otherwise, we will have this information at the end for you as well. So at this time, we are going to move right along, and Ricky Powell from the Minority and Unrepresented Veterans Division will come on and provide you with some great information as to what they do in their division. Ricky, it's all you.
Thank you, Ashley. It's an honor to be here on behalf of CalVet and the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division. A little bit about myself. I'm a Iraq War vet, served 5 years in the United States Army. And of course, we all know the Army is the best branch of service. And prior to that, I was a congressional liaison for 5 years for a congressional member. And we'll go right into our presentation. So can we get the next slide, please? So we'll start off with our division's mission statement. The Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division's mission is to ensure that all veterans have equal access to their earned benefits, regardless of race, ethnic origin, religion, gender identity, or sexual orientation. Promote usage of state and federal veteran benefits, programs, and services. Advocate on behalf of the minority and underrepresented veterans by identifying gaps in services or barriers to access. Next slide, please. So this is something new that our division's going for, is to give a breakdown of the different minority groups throughout the county. We're still working on it, but it kind of gives you the numbers. So the numbers that you see here is out of the 58 counties that we have throughout California. And what that does, it gives a breakdown of just only the minority groups. We're in the process of breaking it down by ethnic groups and the LGBTQ population. But if you have any questions pertaining to this, please give us a call or shoot us an email. We'll be happy to break down these numbers for you. Next slide, please. So our division program, we have 4 programs that we administer. We have the CalVet Pathway to Citizenship program, Tribal Veterans Outreach program, and our CalVet LGBTQ Inclusion program, and our Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Roster. Now I'll go elaborate more on the next slide. The first program that I'm going to talk about is the CalVet Pathway to Citizenship program. So in 2018, CalVet's Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division launched a Pathway to Citizenship program in partnership with the Governor's Office, the California Department of Social Services, and Community Immigration Services. So through this program, veterans and their families had received assistance with citizenship and naturalization services. The goal of such programs and workshops is to provide free legal assistance to veterans seeking citizenship or naturalization services. So through this program, veterans and their dependents can get expedited citizenship and naturalization services. So through the Department of Social Services, there's currently over 150 community immigration service organizations throughout California. And this is a great program. Last year, we did 3 Pathway to Citizenship workshops with our community partners, served over 300 veterans and their dependents throughout these workshops. And we are planning to do this on a quarterly basis for this year. Next slide, please. So next program I'll talk about is the LGBTQ Veteran Inclusion Program. So CalVet believes in building a strong support system for LGBTQ veterans and their family that promotes resilience in the face of challenges. Our programs provide a platform of communication, education, and outreach to effectively supplement roles as assisting our and connecting our LGBTQ veterans to resources available to them. Our team also assists veterans through referrals and service providers. So until recently, service members were dishonorably discharged or received other than honorable discharge due to their sexual orientation. So last year we celebrated our 9th anniversary of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell Repeal Act. And so through this celebrations and recognitions, we work with our community partners to help veterans get discharge upgrades if they received a dishonorable or other than honorable discharge due to their sexual orientation. So this year will mark the 10th anniversary of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell Repeal Act. So we are planning to do a summit in 2021. We're still in the planning phases, but please continue to follow our website or give us a call. And of course, we're going to talk more about our roster, but if you sign up for our roster, you'll get more information on upcoming events. Next slide, please. So our Tribal Veteran Advocate Training Program. So 2020 outreach. So our division was planning to do a outreach through Northern California to build relationships with our Northern California tribes. Of course, due to COVID, we weren't able to make that in-person connection. However, we got a chance to work with Cal OES and to provide over, I believe is over 3,000 masks and PPE equipment to our local tribes through Cal OES. And so through this program, we reached out to over 50 tribes, and it's a great relationship building. We do have some future plans to work with the VA and to promote the VA benefits and programs for Native American veterans. So that's still in the works right now. And also we are planning to do the same outreach that we were planning in 2020. So we're in the planning phases of this, but we are planning to go out in person in October with our CalVet leadership to talk to our local tribes in California. Next slide, please. And lastly, our Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division roster. So as a member of this roster, you will receive updated information about benefits, programs, services, and resources throughout California. Your information is going to be confidential. We're not here to share the information with any other agency or sell the information. We're here to promote our programs and inform our community members of upcoming events and updated information. And our goal too is to bring visitors to our website through this. And we constantly are updating our website with great information, resources, and as Jolene mentioned, we do upload all our webinars and presentations to our website, so community members will have access to it 24/7. Next slide, please. So in addition to the programs that I mentioned earlier, we did some additional events last year. So of course, with the COVID pandemic, there's been a lot of stressors that has been brought up, especially with veterans that are dealing with PTSD. So we collaborated with the VA Central California Healthcare System, the vet centers, and US vets outside of the wire to provide an interactive conversation about suicide prevention. It's a great program. We are planning to do it this year also. And it just brought up the emotional distresses and anxieties which can lead to suicide thoughts. So being cognizant of that and, and knowing that there's a small group of veterans that we need to help each other. The next program that we introduced that we did our very first was a Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation webinar. So this was an informational webinar to commemorate the milestones of having religious accommodations for military members. So our keynote speaker was Lieutenant Colonel Kasi. He actually spearheaded key legislation to have religious accommodations in the US military. So some of you may be aware that Sikh Americans wear turbans and have religious items on their persons. So part of this legislation was to have turbans in the military, but it wasn't exclusively just for Sikh Americans. That also carried over to the Muslim veterans and so on and so forth. And it's a continuing conversation on that aspect. And in last December, we also held a Operation Stress Management. Again, it was the holiday season. On top of that is COVID. So we wanted to partner up with the American Red Cross to provide a hands-on stress management exercise. And again, this is another program we want to continue for this year also. Next slide, please. So this is our information. Please give us a call, shoot us an email. We're happy to help. We are the switchboard, so we're happy to connect you to our community organizations. Whatever we can do to help, we're here. And that's all I have for my presentation.
Thank you so much, Ricky, for coming on and providing all that information. I learn every time I do this about some great information, so thank you. And again, my name is Ashley Daga, and I, again, am here to provide you with information in regards to the CalTAP overview and what we do here at CalTAP to help you in regards to your benefits. Before I get started, I just want to give you a quick background on myself. I am a veteran as well, but I'm also still currently serving in the Air Force Reserve, so go Air Force, we are the best. And I am so excited to be here for many reasons. I actually was probably sitting in your seat several years ago prior to getting, as I was transitioning off of active duty. And assisting here with the mission here at Travis. And so when I went through this, I thought, whoa, what a great presentation. I didn't even know that we had state benefits. And so that was my starting point in learning Calvet. And now I'm here and providing you with this information. So very excited to be here as always. And to kind of get things started, I actually have a poll that I like to run, and that'll be for about, I'll leave it up for about 15 to 20 seconds. We kind of just want to see who is in the crowd and who is out here. So I'm going to launch that poll right now. And again, I'll give you about 15 seconds to answer that. Hopefully we get some answers. And then this just kind of gives us a way to be able to see how we can reach other people as well within California. So, wow, look at that. So about 72% has voted so far. So this is great. I'll give it another 10 seconds here. And this is just for us here at our level. There's no information that I'll ask you guys, as you can see. So perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and end that poll now and download that. Okay. Perfect. So, all right. So to kind of get into my presentation here. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So what is CalTAP? So if you're unsure about what this is, CalTAP is designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras of their earned federal and state benefits, as well as provide continued support and assistance through the 5 pathways that you see below, through core curriculum, education, employment, entrepreneurship, and then we also have a pathway for service providers. As I showed you earlier today as well, this is just a quick screenshot of our Veterans Resource Book. Jennifer has been posting links in the chat, so those can either be copied, downloaded onto wherever it is that you want to save it at, Word, Notes, what have you. But this is just a quick snapshot of that. All right, and so how can I use CalTAP online? All right, and so if you just Google Calvet, it'll take you to our homepage, or it'll be the first one on the screen there. But basically, you click on this. That's what our homepage looks like. And to find us specifically, you'll see CalTAP there in the middle. That's circled. Once you get there, you'll see our 5 different pathways listed, and each pathway has different modules in them. So I highly recommend that you go into there. In addition to our homepage, we do have an archives link that's listed below. And just like Jolene and Ricky had said, we do have our previously recorded webinars listed in the archives. So I highly recommend that you go in there, kind of see what we've done in the past. We also have the presentations uploaded there as well for you to view. All right, and so for this, I'm going to go ahead and go through the core curriculum pathway. You are going to receive this information fairly quickly, fairly fast. So this is why we highly recommend that you go in there and just kind of see what each pathway has to offer you. So once you go in the core curriculum pathway, you would click on Module 5 for the California benefits. And then this is just a quick snapshot of one of the modules that's in there, or one of the documents that's listed there, and I'll just kind of go over a brief overview of your benefits. All right, and so what are my California benefits? In addition to the Veterans Resource Book, we just want to show you this as well. This is on Chapter 13. This highlights the CalVet's 8 linked regions, which I will go over here shortly. There are 8 different regions in which a representative represents, and you can go in there and, yes.
We are looking at California Benefits Chapter 1 right now.
Oh, Chapter 1, thank you. Yes, on page 13. Yep. All right, and so first thing I want to start off with is the college tuition fee waiver. This is near and dear to my heart because my oldest is actually utilizing this program now, and it has helped our family tremendously through his college that he started 2 years ago. What it basically does, it waives tuition and fees at any state-funded school, so whether that's a UC, CSU, or community college, all the way up to their doctorate. And again, it saves California veterans over $35 million a year. There are eligibility requirements for this, and I do highly recommend that you go on our website to kind of check that information out. All right. And then we have DMV programs available as well. So the Veterans Driver's License, what this basically is that instead of carrying around your DD Form 214, you can get veteran listed on your license. And I believe that you just need to go to the local CVSO office, get some documentation, and bring it to the DMV. In addition to that, we have the Honoring Veterans License Plates. If you go on a website, you can find all the symbols and that on there that you can look through. And then finally, the Motor Vehicle Registration Fee Waiver. Again, there is an eligibility requirement for this, and I do recommend that you contact your CVSO. I believe it's 100% that you have to be disabled. So. All right, and then for those who like the great outdoors, you are able to get your fishing and hunting license reduced, your annual fees, and then also your state park pass. You can get that at no cost to use the basic state park system, facilities including camping and day use. And again, Jennifer will be posting links in regards to all this information specifically. So if you have any questions in regards to this, I do recommend that you copy and paste those somewhere. All right, and then our tax program. So the Disabled Veterans Property Tax Exemption. So again, depending on your VA disability rating, you are eligible to get property tax exemption. And then if you have a business, you can also look into getting your business license tax and fee exemption. And then finally, the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Program, the DVBE. If you are a small business and looking at selling your items to the state, I recommend that you go on our site, look into this information, and get connected that way. All right, and then our CalVet Home Loans, our division, they're great people over there who can provide you with information in regards to financing for a home. This is different than the VA loan that we all are aware of. This is just specific for CalVet. So there is contact information that we can provide to you in addition to the website. So if you have any questions on that, you can go there and reach out to them specifically. All right, and then Julian actually touched upon this, their division. Again, they provide information, advocacy, outreach, and support to the California women veterans. And then this is a snapshot of their website again. You can go on there and contact them or sign up for their roster. And then the Minority Veterans Division, you can also go on here. Again, Ricky touched on this. They provide information, advocacy, outreach, and some more support for our California minority veterans. Again, they do so much more than what this is listed here. If you can get on their roster and just kind of find out some great information, you won't be disappointed. And then again, this is just a brief screenshot of their homepage. And you can see the bottom right-hand corner is where you can sign up on their roster. All right, and so our Calvet home loans, not home loans, homes for long-term care. As you can see here, there are 8 different locations throughout the state of California. They provide long-term care for veterans, offering medical, dental, rehabilitation, and social activities. Each location does have a eligibility requirements, so I do highly suggest that you reach out to them to find out some more information, just depending on what it is that you're looking for. All right, and then our state cemeteries. So in addition to the 9 national cemeteries that are in California, we do have 3 state cemeteries in Seaside, Redding, and Yountville. And just like the long-term care, it is highly recommended that you contact these locations and find out what their requirements are, or eligibility for them. All right, and then our common veteran websites I'd like to go over here. So first things first is the va.gov. Again, you can just go to Google, type in VA, and you are able to go onto this website and view information in regards to your healthcare, disability records. Great website to always have bookmarked, as I do myself. And then e-benefits. E-benefits, I go on all of these websites that I'm sharing with you very often. So e-benefits, you can go on there, pull VA letters, get your certificate of eligibility for home loan. And this also connects you to the other websites that, to the va.gov website as well. And then lastly is a My Health eVet. Once you're connected to the VA healthcare system, you're able to log on here, get information in regards to upcoming appointments, message your doctor, refill any medication. Again, a great website to go on once you are connected with the VA healthcare. All right, and then as Kathleen had mentioned earlier, this is the how you're able to locate your closest VA. If you just go to www.va.gov/find-locations, you're able to find the closest location to you, whether that's a facility, a hospital, or a clinic as well. All right, and then earlier I kind of touched on local interagency network coordinator, also known as a link. This is the link map that I showed when I first hopped on. Again, there are 8 different link regions, and they provide a plethora of different services. In the Bay Area link is actually Kevin Graves, and you can see his contact information listed there. So again, this is one of those websites or places that I highly recommend that you either screenshot, take a picture, whatever the case may be, because he is there to help you if you have any questions or need kind of guidance throughout your life here. All right, and so this is just a quick overview on what the links do. And so as you see here, they provide outreach to service member veterans and their families. They make referrals and work directly with established service providers and networks. So as you saw earlier, there's information they connect you with, whether it's at the schools or with the CVSOs or other agencies sourced to Plowshare. They're there to assist you with any questions that you have, because they're out there, connecting with other service providers outside of CalVet. And then they also assist with local emergencies, and then provide leadership and advocacy to local communities. All right, and then one way that they connect to veterans, connecting to benefits, is that they get in touch with these different agencies here. So Employment Development, or EDD, and then there's America's Job Center of California, AGCC. Like I mentioned earlier, the CVSO on the state side, and then CalVet. And then in addition to that, they have connections within the healthcare. So if you're looking for information in regards to medical centers or clinics, or even the vet center, Kevin would be the person to reach out to you. But again, any of our links are there to assist if you have any questions. Kevin is just the one located in the Bay Area. All right, and then your county Veterans Service Office. I will provide you with the one there within your county or San Mateo. But what they do is they provide veterans and dependents free benefit information and assist with assistance and counseling. In 2020, as you see here, CVSOs brought in approximately 540 million new annualized federal benefits and 336 million in continuing annualized benefits for California veterans. So I always recommend, if I don't have any questions, I always recommend you to contact your local CVSO. I'll provide you with that information because they are there truly to assist you with information in regards to your benefits. And then this is just a quick snapshot of the types of assistance that they're there to assist with. I mentioned counseling earlier, so the comprehensive benefits counseling, networking and advocacy with federal, state, and local agencies, burial benefits, pension, life insurance, discharge upgrade, the college fee waiver. Your CVSO is the one that will help you with the documentation and getting it over to the school, and then the veterans designation. So again, all of this here, you'll see this is what they're there to assist you with, amongst other things, I'm sure, as well. All right, and so how do I find my CVSO? So in that handy dandy book or PDF link that you were sent and also have in the chat, you can actually find them. And it is on the advocacy and assistance. I can't see the chapter. I can't recall off the top of my head either. But if you go in there, you can find that. In addition, you can actually go on our homepage. At the top, you can see find a service provider. Click on that, and it'll take you here, and you can type in your zip code, and then you'll have to just mark, you know, what assistance you're needing help with and the distance you're willing to travel as well. If you don't want to use that, you can also utilize the number that's circled there to find your CVSO, and they can assist you that way as well. And then this is the San Mateo County Veterans Service Office. This is their address, phone number, email, website, and then how you're able to contact them to set up any appointments or what have you. So I'll leave this up on the screen here for just about 10 seconds. So take a quick screenshot of that. We can also provide this to you if you would like this as well. All right, well, that concludes my presentation. Again, this is my contact information here. You can go to the calvet.ca.gov website to find information. And then you can also send me an email if you have any questions. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and go into the virtual Q&A panel. Before I get there, I also want to just bring up that you should have received an email with a survey. We do ask that you hopefully will fill that out for us and letting us know, you know, what you liked or didn't like, or what you might want to see, any changes you would like to see throughout some of these presentations. Again, we linked up with Gina and Kathleen for this, and so this is one of the ways that we're able to hopefully reach, you know, veterans throughout California or in this specific region. And this is everyone's contact information here. So if you didn't get the contact information earlier, please take a quick screenshot of this. And at this time, I'm not sure, Jen, if we have any questions, or if anyone has any questions, you can let us know.
Yes, Ashley, we do actually have some questions. I'm just catching up a little bit on this back end. So as everybody's been presenting, I've been on the back end over here putting all those links to all that fantastic information. I myself am a veteran too, and I was out of the military for 20 years before I started to know anything about my benefits or even use any of my benefits. And people would say there's benefits out there, use them, but nobody really told me how to get there. So this presentation is fantastic. It's telling you about your benefits and how to get to those benefits. So what I did to help you guys all out, I put everything in that chat, and I know it's going at like a million miles a minute, but all you have to do is just right click on it, copy it all, and then paste it onto a Word document. So this might not be something you need right now, but you might need it later, or it might be something a friend of yours might need in the future. So just copy and paste all that stuff. But also know that right here, you can also call us if you have a hard time navigating a benefit or a resource that you have. So we got a few different questions that came in. One of the questions was, somebody tried to sign up for the Women's Veterans Roster. They were having difficulties with that. I'll let either Jillian speak on that, or.
Yes, I'm sorry that you had troubles. That's weird. What you can do is just send us a quick email, and then I'll just put you on there ourselves. So again, that's women veterans at calvet.ca.gov.
All right, and it's right there. And then another question we had was, is there a volunteer opportunity at Calvet? I am a student at AAU in San Francisco right now. My major is web design and new media. Also, I have 2 kids. So is there volunteer opportunities at Calvet? Did you want to take that?
I can. So currently we don't have any volunteer opportunities right now because of the pandemic. A lot of us are still working at home, so we can't yet go into the building yet regularly. But we did have, especially in our division in Women Vets, we had the VA work study program. And once we get started rolling again and we're all back in the office, we just might start that program back up because we always need help. Again, there's literally 2 of us and then my boss for the entire California. So we'd love more help.
All right, thank you so much for that. Another one is, will there be a recording of this and can I review it later? And if so, what will the link be, or where will it be? I guess that's what they were trying to say. Yes, we did record this webinar. It's going to be up on our website, and I put that in the beginning of our chat, but I can do it again. It'll be under archives. So Ashley, earlier in the presentation, she showed you on the main Calvet page, you'll go to CalTAP. In the middle of the page, it says CalTAP. Just click on that portal and just go down that page, and you'll see upcoming webinars and archives. From there, you'll just it'll have all of our recorded webinars. You just click on that, and beside it there'll even be a PDF of the PowerPoint for your reference. Where do I find more information on VRRAP program? Jolene?
Yes, so it's a fairly new program and it is on the va.gov website. I also shared it in the chat as well.
Yes,
and
so
they
copy
are
and paste
taking
that.
people for it. So I would get right on that because there are limited amounts that they can give out.
Awesome. What a fantastic benefit. And it's pretty exciting that you're able to share that with us, because a lot of times we don't know about these benefits. They're out there and we just don't know. So even if it's not for you, maybe you don't qualify, tell other people about it because somebody else it might apply to. They also tried to signing up for the minority roster, and it said the request URL was rejected. And when I selected my ethnicity, sorry.
Sure, same thing. If you want to shoot us an email, our email address is minorityveterans@calvet.ca.gov, and we'll be happy to input your information to our roster.
Yeah, maybe something is going on the back end, so we probably need to check with our tech people at Calvet and see if something's going on there. And then another question came in: Does Palo Alto have the same services? I think she was talking at the time we were speaking about links, and yes, there's a link in every location in California, and there's also CVSOs all over California, and the benefits that we talk about here are all up and down California. So all these benefits are up and down California. If that person wants to expand on that question, if I didn't answer it, you can go ahead and write that in the chat now. Here's another question. Do kids that are adopted, are they eligible under the college tuition fee waiver? And yes, they are. Even stepchildren are eligible to apply for the college tuition fee waiver. There's a few different requirements for it that are a little different. So you'll have to go to your local county veteran service office to find out about those requirements. But yes, let's see. Has anyone heard of a new legislation that states vets don't have to lose their GI benefits in order to use their VR and E benefits? If so, can you explain? So you can use both your GI benefits and you can use it's called Employment Readiness Program now, or something to those lines. They just changed the name for it. So you can use both of those those programs, but it's kind of, I would go to a local county veteran service office and ask them how to use the benefits. Sometimes it's better to use the GI Bill benefits first and then use the employment readiness program. And some say it goes the other way. Maybe somebody else here would want to speak on that if they know more about that.
Yeah, so there has been some changes to those, and those changes took place in April 1st. And I believe the new change is that you can utilize the VRNE program. It's Veterans Employment and Veterans Readiness and Employment, and that doesn't take away your GI Bill time. So they're kind of, previously you would have a bulk amount of time that you could use for educational benefits, and VRNE could use those GI Bill times, but now the time that's on that benefit, but it looks like they actually don't impact the GI Bill days anymore. So if you're interested in VRNE, I would definitely just actually encourage you to apply for the program, because you'll get connected with a counselor who can go over those benefits, and you can decide if it's a good benefit for you. And they can answer all your questions, but it seems pretty exciting because, you know, you can really probably maximize your benefits by using both programs.
Yes, that is exactly what I heard too, that you can maximize them both instead of having a total of 48 months. I think it's even more now. So I don't know exactly how it works. So you really do need to see an expert on how that works and how to, you know, maximize those benefits.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that real quick too, because we do get quite a few questions about this as well. I put the VA education benefits line number in the chat as well, because it is so specific to each individual situation. We do recommend you reach out to them directly just to identify if you're in a situation where you have used both benefits, how that impacts the amount of time you have left. Because my understanding is that the VA will be contacting individuals who were impacted by that new decision, but the number is in the chat for you as well.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Gina. The next question we have is, I live in Nevada and I use Chapter 31 through Nevada with my school is in California. I will be changing my major, but Nevada VNRC won't support my change. Can I use California VNRC and still live in Nevada? I can't answer that, so I'm hoping somebody else on the panel can answer that question.
I don't necessarily have an answer for that, but that may be something that you may have to contact the education line for, because again, this is more of a specific question than we're able to answer, because again, everyone has their own specific situation. So again, just as Gina had said earlier, she put the contact information for the VA education benefits line. So I would highly recommend that you contact them. That's a unique situation, especially since you live in Nevada, but you're going to school in California. So I wish we could help, but that'd be your best bet to reach out to them.
All right. So here's a question, CalVet. If a veteran retired in California, but was honorably discharged in another state, is the veteran qualified for CalVet? And yes, indeed, it doesn't matter. As long as you live in California, you are a California veteran. So anybody, if you just moved to California, you're a California veteran. If you just bought a house, you're a California veteran. So it doesn't matter where you enlisted, doesn't matter where you got out, you are a California veteran if you live in the state of California. Next question is, should I register with both minorities and women veterans? Is there a big difference with the services of the two offer? So I can say, yes, they both have different programs, different resources that go out, different flyers that may go out, different webinars that are happening. So I would definitely sign up for both if you do fit in both categories. Anybody want to add to that?
No, you're right, Jen. I would highly recommend doing signing up for both as well.
Awesome. I think it's better to use Okay, well, I won't go into that. Yeah. Since everyone has an individual situation to identify below, oh, I'm sorry, that's from Gina. So I'll move on from there. You guys, again, copy and paste. Actually, let me oh, it is to everyone. She did put that in there to everyone. So copy and paste those different phone numbers and information in that chat area because she gave you that direct line for the benefits. It says SoCal seems to have more housing programs and communities for their vets. Are there any family veteran housing communities on the horizon in NorCal? The best thing that you can do is contact that link in your area. That link will know the different type of housing assistance is out there for you guys and also know what's coming up. So definitely the expert that I would contact is the link in the area that you want to move into. So I put the link map document in the chat. You can click on that, download that, and then call whichever link is in that area that you want to be in. Next question. So it said I didn't qualify for CalVet housing. So I think they're talking about the CalVet home loans, possibly. I think that the best option in the chat, I would call Brad Pedersen. I put his information in the chat. So if you're having an issue with CalVet home loans, not qualifying, he can definitely help you to get you on the right track to qualify to buy, to purchase a home. I'm not, I think that's what they were speaking about. If that's not what you were speaking about, write that in the chat. So, but it looks like we're caught up with all of the questions there. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, he said that's what I was talking about. So yes, please contact Brad. So these are all of our upcoming webinars. Just like the webinar that we're in right now, we have lots more webinars coming this month, next month, past ones, future ones, all over the place. Go, this is a list of what we got going on. To sign up for these or to find out, to register for these, I would recommend to just go to calvet.ca.gov. Once you do that, you're going to, in the middle of the page, there's going to be CalTAP. That's our portal. Click on CalTAP portal and go down the page. It'll have our upcoming webinars and our past webinars. You do upcoming webinars, you can just click on it and it'll go to our Eventbrite just like you signed up for this webinar. All right, I think that seems to cover it all. Ashley, I'm going to hand the floor over to you. Thank you so much for your service. Congratulations on your decision to continue your education. And if you need anything, absolutely anything at all, please give us a call and we will be more than happy. We're passionate about what we do. We're passionate about our veterans, our service members, and their families. So please contact us.
Yes, ditto to what Jen said. Thank you everyone for hopping on and joining us today on our webinar. Thank you to Kathleen and Gina for having us as well, in addition to Jolene and Ricky, who did a presentation today. Again, this is our contact information here. If you go to the calvet.ca.gov website, you can find us in addition to the Women's Veterans Division and the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division, and all of our contact information there. But also like us on Facebook, because that's where we also see our upcoming webinars that we have. But unless anyone else has, oh, and last thing, again, Jen also sent out that survey in the chat. So again, if you can provide us with any kind of feedback, we would appreciate that 100%. And we will go from there. If anyone else has anything else, Julie?
Yes, really quick. I want to do a quick shameless plug on for the Women Vets and the Minorities Division. Please sign up for tomorrow. We have a yoga a webinar for 1 hour at 1 p.m. Look at our website to register for it. And then Friday, Minorities Division has a coffee and conversation with Deputy Secretary Sochi. So it's like a really intimate setting where you can ask whatever questions you'd like that pops to your head about minority veterans. And then we also have in celebration of the month of the military child, which is also April, we have a music and movement with your kids. So that'll be fun. And that'll be at 2 p.m. So look at our individual websites to check those out.
Yes, awesome. They do fun things over there. So do we, but they're specific to those divisions. So that's awesome. With that being said, I don't know if Kathleen or Gina, if you have anything, otherwise we are good to go with this webinar.
Just wanted to say thank you so much to the CalVet team, the CalTAP team for hosting this webinar today. We are so fortunate that you were able to provide such helpful information, and you're always willing to do that. And we look forward to opportunities to continue our collaboration.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome, of course.
And I wanted to really, again, encourage everyone to take advantage and use these resources. They're such amazing programs that are dedicated to helping veterans. And, the more experience that people have using the benefits, I mean, veterans tend to talk and they can really help each other. So the more that you know about these programs, you can pass them on. So we really encourage that, and want to thank the CalTAP team again for the great presentation, and also thank you to the attendees. We really enjoy having the groups that we have, and you guys all ask such great questions. So we really want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Well, you all have a great rest of your afternoon and evening. Thank you again.